Hi, everyone. So I thought I would do a spread for the person you're dealing with, but I decided to do it in a pick a card format. It's been a minute since I've done a pick a card for you. So I'm going to go ahead and use two separate decks and pull one card from each. So from this deck, we have the Four of Cups. And from this deck, we have the Page of Wands. So take a moment to decide which card or deck feels the most resonant for you, to pick up on the energies of these cards. And then once you decide which one you want, you can look for the timestamp in the description and in the pinned comment, and I will see you at your reading. So for those of you who chose the Four of Cups, this is going to be your reading for the person that you're dealing with. So I'm going to do a 10 card spread and see if we can get any energy from this person that you're dealing with. So there's the Five of Swords, Judgment, the Devil, Four of Swords, Seven of Swords, the High Priestess, the Lovers, 10 of Pentacles, King of Swords. Underneath everything, we have the Sun. So let's see what's going on here. There's definitely a lot of love that exists between the two of you. This is feeling a lot like a romantic situation, although it does not have to be. It's going to be different for everyone. But I do feel that for the majority of you, this is going to be a love situation, a romantic situation. There is a strong feeling that you choose each other in this situation. But I'm getting a very strong sense from your person that they're not being very communicative. They're not communicating at all, it looks like, with you. And in fact, they're avoiding their feelings is what I'm getting. They don't want to look at them, they don't want to feel them, but yet they're so pulled to you and so magnetically drawn to you that it's almost impossible for them to ignore that. Or maybe impossible for them to ignore that. I think you understand the gravity of this situation. I'm seeing Judgment and the Devil and the Sun here. And so this to me feels like you understand the importance of this connection, that you feel that there is more that you're meant to do with this person, and that the more your person avoids the situation, it feels like the more difficult the energies are going to get. But you know that there's more to this, whether you're meant to fulfill your purpose with this person or if you've not learned your lessons yet. And I just saw 333 as I said that. But if there's something like that going on where you're feeling like you haven't completed this yet, there's unfinished business, it's like you're still really committed to this. You're still in it for the long haul. But yet it feels to me like you've started to detach from your own emotions, that you may have felt a lot of love for this person at one time, because we are seeing the Lovers here. But I'm also getting the sense that you have completely cut yourself off, or have been trying to cut yourself off from feeling anything at all. And it may be because this person is avoiding you, avoiding their feelings, avoiding talking about the feelings. And so maybe after a while you just decided, you know what, this is not really for me. I know we have things we have to do, but there's nothing I can do to make this person express their love to me. So I'm just going to detach emotionally, perhaps because it was getting to be too painful for you to continue to invest emotionally. So, but there is this force that's beyond your control. And I just saw 444 as I said that. There is a force that's beyond your control that's keeping you two together. With Judgment falling here, it feels like you two are being tested, and you're the universe is waiting to see if you or your person or both of you are going to pass this test. So lucky for you, the tests are independent of each other. However you pass your test is not dependent on how this person passes their test or if they will pass their test, because it looks right now like your person is not really going to pass this test. But let's keep going. So you are really seeing this person as problematic. You see them as the cause of probably most of the issues in this relationship, that perhaps anything that's gone wrong or sideways in the relationship was because of their own doing. And you're really very strongly seeing them as such. And so I feel like with you detaching yourself completely emotionally from this person, that it's allowed you to do your own healing, that just being away from them, detaching emotionally and going about it that way, it feels like you are, as I said, passing the test. You're going through this healing that it looks like you really needed, and perhaps this person was meant to teach you this lesson. But your person looks like they're blaming you. But I can see with the devil and the 5 of swords that most everything that was done that frustrated you or that made this situation fall apart, there's a self-sabotaging energy coming from your person, especially with the 7 of swords and the 5 of swords. There is this self-sabotaging energy that tells me that most of these problems were caused by their own doing, self-sabotaging ways perhaps. And you showing up as the 10 of Pentacles tells me that you did literally everything you could. And then you decided to back off emotionally. But now they're blaming you, it looks like, for backing off emotionally. And so I think that they are fully aware. They have the High Priestess here. So they are very aware that this was a huge opportunity that they had with you, and they've let it slip right through their hands, but they're never going to show you that. It looks like they are not willing to disclose that to you. They're just going to avoid their emotions, maybe perhaps for the long haul, forever, but we'll see when we get some advice. But that's the relationship, that they messed up. They have a strong magnetic pull towards you, but they don't want to take accountability for what it is that they did. And with the sun coming in here, there is a strong feeling of ego, probably from both of your sides, that are really kind of keeping you apart in this situation. But this feels like you're telling yourself that you do not want to be the one to apologize because you've already done everything you can and you don't want to continue to get hurt. And your person, for whatever reason, is just unwilling to take accountability, and so therefore doesn't feel the need to come forward. Their ego is allowing them to continue to think this is your fault and there's no reason for them to come forward. And with this devil card here, this is saying that you are seeing this situation correctly. You are reading the room correctly, but your person still has a lot of healing to do, but you've done the healing. So I think I see here with the Sun card and the 4 of Swords for you, that with this test that you're taking with Judgment, that you're really passing the test, that whatever karmic lesson you were meant to learn from this person, it feels like you've learned it. You know it. The cards are telling me that. So I feel like it may just be a lost cause until this person ever comes around and decides to take accountability. But let's get some final advice here. So we have the Star, the Page of Pentacles, and the Knight of Cups. And underneath everything is the 10 of Swords. So the 10 of Swords underneath everything tells me that yes, this must come to a complete ending. The only way that this person will heal, if they ever do, is to remove yourself completely from their energy. As long as you continue to stay in their energy in any way, whatever that is for you, there's going to be this idea where they don't have to take accountability. They're going to say, you're still here, so you must still be happy, or you're still here, so I must not have done anything that bad. So it feels like in order for this test to be passed is for you to really put an end, a final end, be done like dinner with this situation. And then, only then, can this person do their healing. And if this person actually does their healing with the Star card, then you may be able to build something from scratch at that point, because you are still showing up as the Knight of Cups. So I know you still have love for this person. There's a feeling that you have, you're being pulled towards this person, but there's nothing that you can do about this situation right now except put a final end to it. That may be the only thing with this Judgment card that's going to wake this person up and allow them to see this situation for what it truly is, that they need to be accountable for their actions and the reason that this relationship went completely sideways. So let's pull one I Ching card just to wrap this up. See if we can get any more messages from this. So we have great vigor. Constancy bears fruit. And there's 1111 as I said that. So this does have this feeling that this is not a hopeless situation, but the way it exists right now is a hopeless situation. So if you put a final end to this now and allow this person to do their healing outside of your energy, then that would be the thing that it requires for you to have the fruit that you want to bear from this relationship. But this person needs to come to you in a more consistent manner, in a more eager and vigorous manner, as this card suggests, in order for them to really pass their own test. And you've learned your lesson, you've done the healing. If they do their healing and you want to take them back, it looks like there's still great potential, but not before that. So that is your reading, those of you who chose the Four of Cups. Please let me know how this was resonant for you, and we will do this again sometime. Thanks, everybody. Bye. So for those of you who chose the Page of Wands, this is going to be your reading for the person you are dealing with. So I'm going to do a 10-card spread for this reading. This can be any relationship. It does not have to be a romantic relationship, although for many of you it will be. So there's the Emperor, the Hanged Man, Wheel of Fortune, Five of Wands, Eight of Swords, the Chariot, Judgment, King of Wands, Six of Wands, and underneath everything we have the Ace of Cups. So there's definitely a push and pull going on in this relationship. And I can see that already because we have the Judgment card falling here in this energy that's between the two of you. You're both being tested right now. This is absolutely a karmic test that you're being put through by the universe. So there's this idea of you two being pulled together, but you both have a feeling like you want to get out of this. So you're both uncomfortable. In other words, you're both being karmically squeezed. Your karmic spaghetti is all entangled together. So when you try to pull apart from each other, you cannot. But you're both exhausted. You both want out. You both have your issues here that we're going to get into. And when you try to separate, it's like a boomerang. You come right back together again, is what I have so far. You are very fired up in your energy. You're showing up as this King of Wands. Your person is showing up as the Chariot. So there's this almost like this feeling of a battle royale, in the sense that you both need to win something. It feels like that your person wants to really be in control of this situation, but you showing up as a King of Wands doesn't want to be controlled. So you're not showing up as necessarily wanting to control the situation. You're just showing up as, oh, absolutely not. no. Are you going to be controlling me in this situation? Which is why I think you're trying to get out because you don't want to be controlled, and your person's trying to get out because they want to control. So, but what's interesting though is that your person sees you as the emperor. So they're very threatened and intimidated, I think, by you, which is probably contributing to the fact that they feel like they want to be in control. There's an energy between the two of you that does keep you together outside of just the universe forcing you to stay together through this karmic entanglement. But you're both very open-minded, I'm getting from this hanged man, that you both understand that there is more to this situation, that you're both frustrated, you both are trying to get away from this, but there's a deep knowingness for both of you that there is a lesson here, and that until you learn the lesson, you're never really going to get out of it. It's like a trap that you have to figure out the way out, which is really how karma works. So I think you understand the potential that this person has with the Wheel of Fortune, that if you guys could figure out this code, if you guys crack the code of this particular karmic lesson, that you really feel like you and this person could really be something. I think that you are feeling like this could be a very successful power couple kind of dynamic with the Emperor, with the King of Wands, with the Chariot. But I don't think you tell that person this. I think you keep that to yourself, that you don't say just how successful you think this relationship really could be. You're just saying, I'm out of here. I'm not letting this person control me. This is ridiculous. So they don't have any idea of how you see this situation. But you very much scare the bejesus out of this person. This person is very fearful of this entire situation. I think they're fearful of getting swept up in how they feel for you, but not having control in the situation about how they feel for you. And so I do think that there's a lot going on in this. There is another person showing up here too as a Page of Wands. And so it gives the impression that your person may juggle between you and another person, or may have in the past juggled between you and another person. And it's not because they have feelings for this person. In fact, what I can see from this is their feelings are for you, but they're so terrified of these feelings with the Eight of Swords, and they can't get control over you or the situation. It makes them feel out of control. So this person that they may be juggling or have juggled is showing up as a Page of Wands because pages are easy to control. Pages are small energies. They're inexperienced. They don't have the vibrancy that a King of Wands would have. So, this is the King of Wands. You can't mess with the King of Wands. You can't control a King of Wands, but you can control a Page of Wands. And so I think that's why they may have entertained another person now or in the past, because it's someone who makes them feel more in control of the situation. They don't feel like they can get hurt. They don't feel vulnerable. They feel very much like the Emperor with the Page of Wands. So, but I think that there's so much conflict that's been created in this situation, and you understand that, and you just don't want to fight anymore. So even if this person is somehow playing in your face with this Page of Wands person, or whatever that looks like in your situation, you're not even engaging in the drama anymore. You're with the Five of Wands being in the place that you hold back. It really does feel like this is you're really showing this person that it doesn't bother you anymore. And that's your King of Wands energy coming through. Even though I think you feel like this is your person in the long run, you definitely don't want them to know, again, how successful you think this could be. So let's get you some advice here, because it feels like you're both being kind of stuck and stubborn right now. but the universe is not letting you off the hook. You're both showing up as a hanged man and you're both showing up as judgment. So there is something here that you are being called to learn. And you're not going to get out of this entanglement until you learn that. So there's the Seven of Pentacles, the King of Cups, and the Ten of Swords. Underneath everything is the Hermit. So I believe the advice coming through here for you is use this opportunity. The universe has you in a timeout right now, has both of you in a timeout. You're both been sent to your rooms to think about what you both did. Now, whether or not that's, okay, what I mean by that is you both have done something different in this situation. Your person may be playing in your face, and so they were sent to their room for that. But you, I think, are not really being forthcoming about what you think this relationship is meant to be with this person. And so that's why you've been sent to your room, unfortunately. I know it doesn't feel fair. But let me break down this advice. The King of Cups is showing up right in the middle, right smack dab in the middle of you two. The fascinating thing is I didn't see one cup in this reading, this surface level reading. I did not see one cup. But the truth of the matter is that neither one of you is acknowledging is that you have the King of Cups between you, which means you have so much love between the two of you that neither one of you is even wants to admit. So what needs to happen here, and this is very similar to the first reading I did in this video. So if you felt like you were drawn to that one too, you might want to go see it, but it was a little different. So, but this is saying to me with the Ten of Swords on your side that it's time for you to put an end to this situation. Don't re-engage with this person. You're right to not go into the drama and not to engage when they play in your face or whatever they're doing with this page person, but to put an end to all of that, but to also tell them how much you love them. Express to them, and I just saw 2222 as I said that. Express to them how much you love them, but then put an end to it, because that and only that is going to be the thing that allows them to continue to invest in you. Once you break that, once you crack that vulnerability open on your side, it will make the person who, your person here who does not want to feel that vulnerability because it makes them feel out of control. If you show the vulnerability first, but then walk away, it will allow them to start investing in you in a more emotional way. So that's the advice that's coming off of this, is to tell them how much you love them, but then to walk away, because it's the only way to really waken them up to whatever this is that's rolling around in their head, this fear that they have of actually loving someone that they love and not just someone that they want to control. It's the only way to crack that open, is to tell them you love them and then be done with them until they heal and come back around. So I'm going to pull an I Ching card just to see if we can get one more final word of advice in this situation, because it does feel a little bit tricky. So we have influence, creating success, constancy bears fruit, taking a woman, good fortune. So yes, your influence in this situation by admitting you have the Six of Wands here in your feelings, which is telling me that you know how successful this relationship could be if this person could just come around. So this King of Cups is showing up with influence, is telling me that your love that you pour into this situation, your influence over this person and their need to control and heal those vulnerability wounds, you pouring love into that wound is really going to help them heal and come around. And that doing that, but then giving them their space to figure it out is the answer. Then they will start investing back into this situation, if you even still want it. But the universe is saying that these karmic relationships don't happen for out of the blue. You get in these karmic entanglements because the two of you are meant to do something greater. And this person looks like they've done something crazy over here. But there's a bigger picture, there's a bigger purpose, there's a bigger reason why the two of you are meant to be together, and why it almost looks like it's your purpose to try to heal this person so that they can get on your vibration, so that you can go ahead and do your mission together, or whatever that is, or have influence together as that power couple that I know you see you already can be. So that's a tough one, though. That's a tough one for our ego to swallow, because if there is another party, it's very difficult for our ego to understand the bigger picture of that. And so that's where free will comes in. If you choose to not take this person back for that reason, no one could blame you. But the cards are saying there's a bigger picture than just what your ego is saying. And healing is necessary. You can't take this person back now. The cards are saying to break up with this person. It's a 10 of Swords. But when the person does their healing, there is great influence and love that can exist once they heal and start investing in you. So I hope all that makes sense. Please let me know how this was resonant for you, and we will do this again sometime. Thanks, everybody. Bye.